Hey guys, this week we're going to be starting Power Rock, which is a new piece that we're learning this year. It's in your binder behind tab 4, which would be your new music. So I'm going to introduce a couple things to you before you get started. That way you're not freaking out when you look at it. So the very first thing is basses and cellos have this in measure 1. Violins and violas, you have this in measure 29. So you're going to see it later, but I'm going to discuss it now so that you'll know what's going on when you see it. Okay? So sometimes you'll see this big bar. It's like a solid bar with two lines. I think we may have looked at it last year a couple times for different instruments, but just a refresher. Usually it indicates there's a long period of rest, so multiple measures, okay? So in this case, you have a 4, and then you have the big bar underneath it, and that means 4 measures of rest. Now, since we're in 4/4 time signature, that means there's 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4 beats per measure. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's 4 measures of rest. And then you come in. Okay. So violins and violas, you don't have that until measure 29. And cellos and basses, you start off the whole piece like that. So you'll be counting while the violins and violas are playing. Okay. The next thing you'll see is these weird X notes. They're like, instead of a note head, it's an X, all right? So the note head, usually that looks like that, usually means a percussive sound or something that isn't pitched. So it's not going to be something you'd play on your instrument. It's a sound you're going to make instead, okay? So in your music, it actually tells you what they want you to do. Sometimes you'll see it, by the way, like that or like that. So in this case, violins and violas, you have the clapping and stomping at measure 1, and violins and cellos and basses, you have it at measure 13. Okay, so it tells you, if you look carefully on the bottom of your music or the bottom of this sound, it says stomp, stomp. Okay, so every time you see the two notes that are like this, you're going to stomp your foot. Okay, and every time you see the one that looks like this, you're going to clap your hands. Okay, so when you do it in rhythm, because it's quarter notes, they can change the rhythm too, but in this case, they only have quarter notes. So you're going to go stomp, stomp, clap, rest, stomp, stomp, clap, rest, stomp, stomp, clap, rest, and so on. So several of you have it for several measures, some of you have it for a few measures, but that's the gist of what it means. So we're going to go over that this week in your Zoom lessons again. For those of you who you didn't see it last week, we'll go over it again this week, and we'll practice going back and forth between stomp, stomp, clapping, and playing, or going the opposite way, playing and then going to stomp, stomp, clapping. So you'll get to do that this week. We're going to be covering measure 1 through 28. So good luck. I'll see you in your Zoom lesson.